Hello and welcome. Today, I'm going to be making a simple zombie game, and you can follow along to make your own. We already have a zombie model here, so let's start with the AI. Insert a script into your zombie. These will be the brains of the operation. We're also going to add a tag so the zombies can tell each other apart. This can be anything, but for now, let's just call it a zombie. Now we can get to the good part, coding. I'll start with some variables. Call these whatever you want, as long as it's comfortable for you. The humanoid is essential for any NPC, so we'll need it here. And now, a basic loop. By setting this to run while the humanoid health is above 0, it will automatically stop when it dies, preventing lag. Let's also write a function for when the zombie is spawned. We will run it before the loop. You can put whatever set of your zombies will need here, but I'm going to add random colors to add some variation. Red color dot random is exactly what it says. It gives you a random color, which is perfect. Now, let's test this out. Well, that wasn't supposed to happen. The torso changed color, which means our code works. Wait, don't run it again. That's enough. Seriously. Okay, now that's over, we can continue. Let's give our zombie some pants. We'll do something similar to the torso here. I stored the color as a local variable here, so both legs can share the same color. What you're trying to change has a space in the name, you can use a dot, which is why the legs look different in the script. Okay, I really need to fix that. But as we can see, everything works now. Let's get to the good stuff now and make a search function. I call it scan for humans, but you can make it whatever you want. Speed this up a little, you can pause if you need to. Now, let's see it, damn it. I went ahead and changed some things, and updated the scan for humans function. The zombie now properly chases this dummy, which means we can move on to attacking. Let's add a variable for our target's distance and change the scan function accordingly. And now we will modify our loop to see if the zombie is close enough. Inside of the if target then check, we will add a check for distance. Distance is measured in the size of a part, with 1 being a small cube, so I choose 5. Now for the actual damage, I use humanoid take damage here, as it doesn't overflow. Now if we test, we can see the dummy's health draining. Maybe if you want a vampire enemy, this could work, but these are zombies. Let's go back to our script and work on it some more. I've added the next attack variable, and I'm going to increase the damage. Now, let's use time to get the current time, and store that temporarily. Also changing the distance check to see if the current time is over our next attack, which should mean we can. To make sure we don't have health draining again, set next attack to be time, plus the cooldown time, which I made half a second. As I was saying, our zombie should now attack every half a second. I'm going to increase the time to 1 second. Let's add a sound too. Insert a sound into the torso of the zombie. I'm calling it claw, but again it can be whatever you want. I'll grab the sound did prefix from the sound script to make it easier. By setting it to 0, we have a placeholder sound. Then, you find what sound you want and put the numbers at the end. I think I forgot something. Hopefully you've implemented the sound properly, so let's get started on the game itself. Let's insert the team service so we can add some teams. We'll be using these teams to sort people as either survivors or spectators. Remember to disable auto assign for the survivor team and give it a different color. I went with red and white here, but these can be whatever you want as long as they aren't the same. Now we can build our lobby. I'm going for a transparent floating box here, as it's the easiest way to implement spectating. Don't forget to add a spawn point in here afterwards. Set the spawn point's team color to your spectator color and turn off neutral. Our survivors will need a way to escape, so I'm building a helicopter. I'm not much of a builder myself, so this took a while to get right for me. I'm also not using free models in this, as this is supposed to teach you something new. Free models can be good if you use them right, just don't use too many or you'll be just as bad as the junk on the front page I see every day. This design was inspired by the one I saw in Cool Killer. I thought it was pretty cool, so I based mine off that. I used decals on the propellers to give it some detail. When in motion, it will look like the helicopter is actually flying. Now our helicopter is complete, we can move on to the actual map. I actually forgot to record a lot of the process, sorry about that. I figured to keep the theme of what we're going for here, I should add some makeshift barriers. But this design sucked. That's better, but I can't paint through the slope. So I built it again. Perfect. Now to add some more. I'll make this one diagonal to add some variety. Another building would be nice. I'll make this one out of regular bricks this time. Don't do what I did here if you want to make a hollow building. As you can see, I would have to carve out the inside manually. Instead, draw out the shape you want, then work your way up from there. I went pretty basic with this one, but you can do something more complex if your game is made for it. If you care about it as much as I do, don't forget to fill in the empty spaces in your terrain. There's our map so far, let's test it out.
4, 3, 2, 1.
Don't worry if your game isn't perfect first try, you can always go back and change things later. For example, the music is really loud. I've turned it down here though, but I could barely hear anything else. Here come the zombies. Again. I've actually spent a lot of my time on this just killing zombies. It's fun. Once I get better with raycasts, I'll make my own gun system. This one is good as a placeholder, but it misses a lot. Once you reach the halfway mark, the tank will spawn. If my gun was able to hit the zombies better, I would have managed to get out of here alive. And if it didn't break. That's all for now. I may try making more videos like this soon.